Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm excited. Can you tell? Can you tell? Can you tell? We have our second guest in-house introducing Murugi Munyi. Say hi.
Hi guys, the artist formerly known as Yummy Mummy, but is now Murugi Munyi.
Wow, I love it.
Thank you. So excited to be here. And I've just been sitting, waiting. When is Ivy going to invite me? And if she doesn't, so I'm happy. I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you for coming. Maddie, say hi.
Hi guys.
Yeah, you remember the C section, or what we call the counseling section. Today we're discussing discipline. This is actually, Joanne, the most requested topic on the C section. And for a very highly requested topic, of course, I brought a very high profile guest. Yeah. And the other reason Joanne is here is because she has 3 children, 2 girls, very different ages. Because please tell us the ages of your children.
Okay, so my first one is Ethan, he's 10.
Yeah.
Then I have Mokeni, who is 3. She's just about to turn 4. And Mutana, who is 1.
Exactly, good. The reason she's here is she's going to give a lot of insight into her dynamic, her family dynamic when it comes to discipline. Because me with my twins, I may not be able to really give you everything. I also only have girls. I don't know if discipline in girls and boys is different. I really do not know how it goes. The other thing about Joanne is she co-parents. So also discipline when it comes to co-parenting, I don't know if it's different. She represents so many facets of parenting, which is why she was absolutely perfect for this topic. And I can't wait to learn from Maddie as to what is discipline? What is the best way to discipline? What is wrong discipline? Types of discipline methods, and just how to improve our parenting skills, because I can't be the only one suffering in lockdown with kids that are going crazy. I'm suffering and I don't know how to discipline them. And Maddie, one thing you might not know is when I asked movers what they would speak to a counselor about when it comes to discipline, very many said they don't know how to discipline a child that's aged 1.5 years and above. So that's a very small baby, but they still need discipline. So that's what we're going to touch on today. Maddie, where do we start?
We start from the very beginning, from the word. I like that Ivy is not asking or that how do I punish my child when they're wrong? Yeah, so that's exactly the best thing you've done, and that is the word discipline. Yeah. So let's start from that word, right? Because the word discipline comes from let's think biblical, so to speak. From the word, not even biblical, just English, disciple, right? And a disciple is someone who learns from. Yeah. And to disciple someone is to teach, is to teach them. Yeah. Which makes us then know that discipline is meant to teach children. Okay. So discipline is meant to children, and that's why we don't say punishment or anything like that. Yeah. So discipline is a good word. Then why? Right? Why should we discipline? Why do you usually discipline, for example?
To teach. So that they don't repeat those mistakes later. Why do you do it?
So that same reason, so that they know that this is a line and that you shouldn't cross it. You know, like disobedience or rebellion, things like that.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah. So to teach them what they should or shouldn't do, right? Yes. But also, and I like that you're saying that your followers or the movers, right word, movers asked how to discipline a child 1.5 years and older, because you're saying that they're a baby. Then if it's not only to teach them, but also discipline is also to keep children safe, right? Because sometimes you're telling them what you should or shouldn't do. Don't put your finger in the socket, don't touch, to keep them safe, because children are unable to keep themselves safe. And not only small kids, even teenagers, even grown-ups, don't do drugs. Why? To keep you safe. Don't come home late. Why? There are dangers outside. So to keep children safe, but also because it teaches them also to care for other people, and that is when you teach them discipline with regards to interacting with others. They learn to be empathetic, to know that whatever they do has an effect on others, and to care for others. So discipline is very effective in that as well. But generally to teach them right from wrong, to show them the way, and to keep them safe, to keep them safe from just so many dangers that could come.
My first question is, what's your view on beating or pinching children? Is that an appropriate way to discipline a child? Because I feel like there's different schools of thought on it. So what's the right way, if there's a right way?
There's a right way. Wow, yes, we were definitely going to talk about that, and that's a very dicey question, especially in I don't know if I should say the African context. Now, I'm going to speak psychologically speaking. Psychologically speaking, talk to child psychologists and people who just understand Heating is not advocated for at all. Yeah, so
I knew it.
Spanking, hitting, pinching is not advocated for at all. Yeah.
Wait, pinching even?
Good point. Huh?
I say it's physical.
Physical.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I don't want to call it harm, because it's not like
Or
they bleed,
punishment.
but
Yeah.
physical is not advocated for.
Yes, and why we live in affirm it with how we've started. Remember, discipline is supposed to keep a child safe. And what happens is, or the danger, and that's why we're saying it's dicey. So from psychology, we're going to say it is not advocated for at all. Yeah. But I know the parents, even just from this context, and people who will use perhaps religious texts as guidance of like, but spare the rod, spoil the child. Then there's a context for those. Yeah. So to hit or not to hit, as a psychologist, I'll say don't hit.
Okay.
Because what happens is that research has shown that children who are hit tend to be very aggressive, tend to sometimes learn that violence is the way to get things done, tend to have esteem issues, tend to have a lot of things. And I'll give an example of myself. I was brought up in that typical African family, and it actually took me being in a psychology class, a psychology trauma class, to know that wait, I might be traumatized from my discipline. And why? Because I used to be held, my hands used to be held, and then now I'd be, because I was those ones who'd make the teacher run after you and stuff. So whoever was taking care of me found it effective to hold my hands, and up to now, if anyone holds my hand here, I feel very weak.
Really?
Yes, I feel very weak and powerless.
Dominating you.
Yes, actually that is the one way. I don't find it very comfortable. You can even tell from my reactions that when you hold me here, and I never used to understand. Because even I'd get very intense reactions to just feel generally weak. And then I traced it back. I remember now when I used to be disciplined,
They would hold your hand.
they'll hold my hands together just so that I don't sumbua, and maybe to protect me so they don't hit. They say they don't want to hit the wrong place. So as I am even a testament of just why just hitting is not the best choice. And why? Because most parents do it when it's out of frustration and anger. Right?
What we're discussing.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's out of frustration and anger. It's not like, when a parent is calm, they're more likely maybe to explore other ways of disciplining. But because that thing the child has done, and we understand that we're coming from a place, and that's why we're saying it's dicey, because we know parents necessarily don't want to. The last resort is, or not the last resort, but the intention is not to hurt their child necessarily. At least in those ways, traumatize. But I know it's in the heat of the moment, and that is why we advocate, because in that moment, you're not able to think. We usually say your thinking brain is out, your emotional brain is there, and your emotional brain is out to get out the frustration. And that's why it's not advisable at all. But we'll speak, because the people who believe in spare the rod, spoil the child. And remember, our stand is you're not supposed to. But if you believe in spare the rod, spoil the child, make sure that you're using this as the last resort. Yani, you have tried all other discipline measures, and you're using it as the last resort. But even before you use it as the last resort, make sure you're using it when you're very calm. Like, it's something you've thought about, it's something the child knows, and it's something like they're psychologically even prepared. They know
What do you
it's
mean?
coming.
So you tell them, I'm going to beat you at 5 o'clock today. Or what,
Please tell us.
How
Okay,
would they know
fair
that?
enough.
And you remember toddlers forget things very quickly.
Yeah.
Now I've already forgotten. There's that thing which I had done. Which did what?
Don't you? I think actually don't use it on toddlers. There's so many other ways to discipline toddlers. Remember, you're using it as a last resort, because all discipline methods have not worked. And with children, there's so many other things. With little humans, I like to call them, there's so many other things that you could possibly do. Yes, like timeout. And timeout, there's a golden rule for timeout, not just as in, because remember we're talking, and I'll tie this to the conversation on love languages. And how even this is impacting. For example, a child whose love language is physical. Remember we talked about that. Then you hit them. You teach them that. You actually teach them that's how love is shown, like that. Because you're a figure who they love, right? And this is their love language, and corrupted, so to speak, their love language by introducing abuse. And now kids who quality time is their thing, don't punish them with timeout. So I think what actually one of the things we're going to say is that discipline, by the way, it's an each child, even you with twins, it's an each child is an individual, because there's so many factors for you to consider before you choose that method. So timeout won't work for everything or for every child, and the rule for timeout, especially with younger kids, give them a minute for their age. So a minute for their age. So if they're 1, perhaps a minute. If they're 2, perhaps 2 minutes. Because also timeout can really be traumatizing, because children want your love and affection. And if they feel like now they're not getting it, then so discipline is just a very complicated thing. So you need to be very careful. But if timeout is not working, what else can you use?
Tell me.
Natural consequences. Okay. Natural consequences is excellent for across all age groups. Natural consequences is using the same thing that they've done, use it as a lesson. Okay, so unless it's something that puts them in danger. So for example, if it's a glass they've broken, don't make them pick it up necessarily. But if they've poured their food and then you talked about it and they've done it intentionally, then have them clean it up. And it works even for teenagers, for example, or even older children.
Like Ethan.
Exactly.
Yes, Ethan. What could he have done? Maybe he took some time and then he was left by the school bus. And then this is gonna sound extreme, but if you take him to school, so you can, and you negotiate with him. So you've been left by the school bus, for example, and I'm going to take you to school, but for my time and for my fuel, you're going to do chores to pay me back.
For my
natural consequences. So they know.
I like that.
Yes. So it works across. You can use it across the ages.
It's okay. Uta watch video.
Thank you. What is the age to start disciplining? Oh, not even disciplining, punishing.
I'd say from the very beginning, from when she bites your nipple when you're breastfeeding. And not that way. Not like in the timeout. It's not like now you'll just be like no. It's just in the and with little people, it's like, what should you do? So not even necessarily what shouldn't you do, it's also what should you do. Don't bite mommy's, don't bite mommy.
Just tell her. Any others?
Using or rather taking away privileges.
No TV.
Yes.
No tablet, no phone.
Yes.
Okay. And by the way, I can't. Because I'm like, I'm punishing you, but I'm the one who's going to suffer. Because I tell her, I'm not giving you your tablet this evening. So she'll be like, Mom, I'm bored. Mom, let's play. Mom, let's play.
Oh, wow.
So it's more like, where am I punishing? Me, what did I do? Where am I punishing yourself? Where am I being punished?
By natural consequences. For example, TV. True or truly, to be honest, TV is dicey. And maybe we'll talk about TV another time when it's not this season. Because I know. But like, if it's things like video games, phone, and again, please try it with natural consequence. So that if you can. So for example, if it's that they've not been or they've been on their phone, maybe if your family rule is that when people are having dinner, no one is on their phone. So if they're on their phone, and this is something they know. Remember, we talked about it. We said that you set the rules and expectations so they know. So you don't even need to have a conversation, then you take it away. So privileges like those video games.
I think one thing we're learning here is different homes, different parents have different methods because children are very different. No child is ever the same, and if it works for you, you may think it works.
Please don't discipline something that you already do yourself. And I'll give an example. A story has been told.
You're shouting. But you're shouting. We're not ready for that kind of conversation.
I'm so happy you said that, because the whole time when we're talking about phones, I was just like, will I ever be able to take a phone away? And
I know.
the phone is glued to my eyelid. Like, gosh.
It's like, you mom, you're on your phone the whole day.
How dare you?
Exactly. Because ultimately, and this is something that we've been saying, children learn by observing. So actually, amongst the best ways to discipline is be a good role model and don't punish for something. There's a story, or rather don't discipline for something. There's a story that was told, a parent went to visit someone's family, then the child was had abusing another child, and the parent was like, went and punished that child, their child, for abusing now the child that belonged to that home. Then I remember the person was saying the story because it was their home, but this is language the mother uses.
Yeah.
So she didn't understand. Yeah. So I mean, that's double standards.
Yeah.
So if don't punish for something, that you do.
Yeah.
Yes. So set a good example first. Even for calmness, if you want your child to be calm, set a good example for calmness as well.
Yeah.
Then now you can expect that of your child.
Okay.
But also, don't discipline things that you've not set expectations for.
Okay.
Yeah. So if a child does something for the first time,
Okay.
use it as a teachable moment. Yeah. No. I mean, unless it's
Unless it's extreme.
Yeah, unless it's extreme. But don't punish for something you've not set expectations for.
Okay.
Because that's unfair.
Yeah. Every time I speak to Maddie, I feel like I've damaged my children for life. So Maddie, I always ask you, even for those mothers and fathers watching that have, for example, taken the spare the road, whatever, spare the
Road, spoil the child.
Yeah, exactly, that route. Is it possible for them to unlearn what they've done? And also, has damage been done to the children, or can the child be okay?
No, the child, no, it's never too late. By the way, yeah. And don't be, see, that's why we're doing this, so that we can learn.
Yeah, I always feel like, I have no idea what I'm doing as a parent.
I know. I'm coming from, the ideal. This is the ideal and the textbook ideal. Yeah. So, and because of that, and because, ground between is different, then let's have mercy on yourself, and as long as you're willing to learn, then that's the most exceptional thing. Because change can always happen. Even though they're already been teenagers, have conversations, tell them, okay, how do you feel, okay, when that happened, what happened, and then actually break it down and be like, hey, me, mom, when you used to, I used to feel this way, and then correct those. No, I think conversations will help clarify, so that your kids they at least have understanding of why it happened, and they know that you'll do better.
Yeah, that's good.
A lot of things in life can be sorted out with a conversation. And kids really understand a lot more than we give them credit for. Even toddlers, sometimes there's like a glimmer in their eye which tells you they know exactly what they are doing and exactly how you will react and exactly what the consequence will be. And they're just looking just to see, is she going to be consistent? Is she going to do what she's always saying she's going to do? She's always saying, I'm going to pinch you. Are you actually going to? She's always saying, I'm going to give time out. Well, did she actually give you the time out?
Did you do psychology?
No, but
anyway, this lady is actually, she's very smart. I really enjoy conversations with Joanne. She's genuinely smart, because that's something Maddie is always saying. If you're threatening, and I think it's part of this conversation,
always threatening.
African parents and always threatening. Make good with your threat.
Okay, me, I'm threatener by the way. When you see me threatening, you can think that I'm a tiger, but actually I'm a little kitten. In my mind, I'm just like, please don't make me beat you. Please don't make me beat. I really don't want to. Please don't make me. Kind of thing. Consistency on our part as parents is key in disciplining the kids for sure, right?
Definitely.
Hey, masomo leo, guys. That was a very good class. I want to thank my fellow classmate, Joanne.
Thank you.
Murugi. Maddie, thank you so much for being here. Guys, remember, if you enjoyed this video, leave a comment. Please give a like. Yani thumbs up, okay? It's important. It's important to me. And subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. Always remember to also let me know the topics that you'd like us to cover with Maddie. I really enjoyed today's episode. I hope you have as well. Bye.